But I think that's maybe something we can look at down the road. I know I have pretty good relationship with NJOP and I get emails from them. I think the level 2 would probably be more of more vocabulary and more reading, and that's fine. So let's consider that down the road. Okay. So I believe that we left off right here with the Fay, okay? The Fay, and we're going to do the pay. Did we do that? I think the pay comes, yeah, there we go. Okay. Any other questions so far about what we've done? Okay, so again, I'd like to finish up our letters this week. And this, I was planning on making this the last class, maybe if people are still a little possible, maybe next week we can do kind of a supplemental class. Stay tuned. Okay. And we'll think about that as, during the week. Okay. So hope everybody's having a good weekend. Let's continue. Again, are there any questions, comments about anything we've done up to this point? Okay. Then our next letter is also what I like to refer to as a compound letter. You've got two versions of the same letter, and you've got a final construct of the letter. So this is what's called the pay. It's RP, okay? And I think I mentioned this, that the pay also is the word for mouth. And if you look at the actual letter, it looks like a profile of a face. And here's your mouth. So let's go for line 1. Okay. Pa. Pa. Pe. Pe. And this is how you spell the word for mouth. Pe. Okay.
Pe.
Po.
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 Po. And po means here. Con also means here, but po means here. I think po means here is. Here's pay.
Pay.
Poo.
Po.
And poor.
Poor.
What does poor sound like?
Purim.
We'll come to that in a minute. Somebody have an answer for me?
Purim.
Purim, that's right. So poor means lie. And the holiday of Purim, it was established, it's called Purim because Haman wanted, don't get your groggers out just yet. We still have a few months. But Haman wanted to just, wipe out the Jews. When did he want to do it? Well, let's draw lots and see what date comes up. That's how we get the name Purim. Okay, line 2. Yom.
Yom.
And this is something that's coming up, Kippur.
Kippur.
Yom Kippur. There it is.
Yom Kippur.
2 months. Actually, a month and a half.
Purim.
Purim. There you go. And here's another holiday. Pesach.
Pesach.
Good. Sipur.
Sipur.
Story. Pa'am.
Pa'am.
Which means time. One time. Pa'amim.
Pa'amim.
Which is times.
Oh.
But not like Zaman, which is like a time of the season or time of the day. It's like Od Pa'am means one more time. Od means else or more. It's that kind of a word. It's that kind of a concept. Od Pa'am means one more time. So if I were to say Kippur, and you would say Kippur, and I would say Od Pa'am one more time, you would say Kippur. Okay, 3. Mishpat.
Mishpat.
Judgment. Mishpateh.
Mishpateh.
Which are judgments of. So, interestingly, in Hebrew, when you make the masculine plural, it's im, right? Remember, it's the e, the yud, and the mem. Im. Okay? If you want to say mishpatim, that's judgments. If you want to say judgments of, the way they contract it is to say mishpateh. Okay? Pari.
What's that? Pari?
Pari. Not gay pari, but pari. And where have we heard that word peri from? The blessing for the wine, beret pri hagafen.
Oh, yeah.
Blessing for vegetables, beret pri hadama, fruits of the earth. Trees, fruits, beret pri ha'etzim, fruits of the trees. Okay. Peirot,
Erot.
peh, once
Peh.
again, here. Bapeh,
Bape.
in the mouth.
Ba.
Peh's mouth, I'm sorry. Po is here, I'm sorry. Peh is mouth.
Pata.
Bapeh, and this
Patah?
word is patach. Patach.
Tach.
Patach, right, which means open. Right? Poteach et yadecha, open your hand. Umasbil l'chol chai ratzon from the ashrei, and satisfies the needs of every living being. All right, let's do some reading and learn some vocabulary. Me,
Me.
yodea,
Yodea.
sipor.
Sipor.
Who knows the story?
Me. Yodea.
Uh,
Amore.
okay.
Sorry.
Amore, okay, the teacher. Sha'al, ask.
Sha'al.
Me,
Me.
yodea, knows. Sipor, story.
Sipor.
Shell of
Purim.
Purim. That's right. Okay. Let's go down to 7.
Amore.
Amore. Actually, let's go down to 8. Penina,
Penina.
that's a name, Penina.
Hmm.
Anta
Anta.
answered. Ani,
Ani.
I. Yodea, Yodaat.
Yodaat.
I know, that's the feminine for Yodea. Here's the masculine, I know, Yodea. The feminine, Yodaat.
Yodaat.
Sipor,
Sipor.
story,
Shell.
shell of
Hag.
holiday, Pesach.
Pesach.
There you go. Okay, very good. And we have the same sentence just with different holidays up there a little bit. And here's another name on 10. Paltiel.
Pakiel.
Paltiel, right? Anna
Anna.
answered. Ani
Ani.
Yodea.
Yodea.
This is a boy. Sipor,
Sipur.
story, shell of
Shel
Yom
Yom. He.
Kippur. Very good. I know the story of Yom Kippur.
Oh.
And here is a biblical verse. Patach,
Patach.
open, libi, my heart,
Di.
betoratecha.
Betoratecha.
Good. Open my heart to the Torah.
To
And
your.
here's the blessing for Adamah, for vegetables, fruit of the earth. Okay. And a little touchy here. So we learned some words here. Once again, Sipur is story. Ani, I or I am. Purim, which is Purim. Od Pa'am, once again, one more time. Od Pa'am, once again, it's an idiom. Chag is holiday. Pesach is Passover. And here is Yom Kippur. Okay, let's see the rest of what this letter is. So here is the Fe. With the dagish in the middle, it's a P. Without the dagish, it's a F. And this is the final Fe. In all my journeys through Judaism, I have only one time seen a final pay. Yes, it does exist. It would be this letter with a dagish in it. I've seen it only once out of all the Hebrew, reading the Torah, reading the Tanakh, the Bible, reading Talmud, all that. I've seen it in one and only one place. That's why they don't even have it. It's so obscure, they don't even need to mention it. But just understand that when you see this, It's a final fe. It's a f. Okay, a f. So here we have a f and a f. Okay, let's go to line 1. Fa.
Fa.
Anybody remember that movie years ago with George C. Scott? He played a scientist and he was training a dolphin to speak. That ringing a bell at anybody?
Mm,
Because the dolphin was he would call fa, alpha, fa or something, fa, and the dolphin's talking fa. I don't know. It just kind of brings that up in my memory.
I remember it. I'm old enough.
Took you a while to admit that, right? Look at me, man. I'm 69, so I remember all that stuff. Okay, line 1. Fa,
fa. Fa.
fa,
Fe.
fe, good.
Fe.
Fe,
Fi.
fi,
Fi.
fi, right? The yod extends it a little bit.
Fo.
Fo,
Fo.
fo,
Foo.
foo,
Foo.
and fo. Yeah, kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk. Fee, fi, fo, fum. There.
Right. I was gonna say. I said, "Where's fum?"
There you go. Okay. 2, off
Off.
and off.
Off.
I think this off is nose.
Is what?
Nose.
Oh.
With the aleph,
I'm sorry, Scott.
with aleph, fe, final fe.
Yes. I think, yeah, and I'm trying to think if that means anger, but anger, I think is ah, not off. So off, I believe, is nose. Okay. Kapa,
Papa.
kaf,
Kaf.
yafeh.
Yafe.
Beautiful. Yafeh, pretty beautiful.
Yafe. Yeah.
Apapai,
What?
af, a pie.
Afa pie.
Eyelid. So like one of the prayers when we go to sleep at night, afapai vihi anayim, remove the sleep from my eyelids.
Hmm.
Mit palel,
Mit pale.
to be praying.
Lel.
Praying.
Paleo.
Tefillah,
What does it mean?
to be praying. Mit palel, prayer. So when you have the mem in front of it, it makes the verb, I forget what they call it, constructive or reactive or something, or reflexive, something like that. Okay, tefillah,
Tefillah.
which is prayer of. Musaf,
Musaf.
which is additional, as in the Musaf additional prayer. Let's do some more words. Sof,
So.
which is end. Pasuk,
Asuk.
which is verse. Sof pasuk, end of the verse. It's also the name of the cantillation. Sof pasuk, when we're chanting Torah or Haftorah. Tefillin, and we know what tefillin, it's what they call, I guess, an English word is phylactery. It's the tefillin that we put on. Now, here's an interesting point here. We've learned that im is the male plural. And I think we've discussed that ot is the feminine plural.
Mm.
The biblical feminine plural is een. Tefillin, prayers, feminine. Tefillah, prayer, if you hear the ah, it's feminine. Tefillin is prayer, or in this tefillin. And that's the feminine, the ancient Hebrew, the biblical feminine plural. Okay, Pana,
Pana.
Yifneh,
Yifne.
Af,
Oh.
Al,
P.
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 That's an idiom. Af LP means nevertheless, I think.
Of LP.
Tirdof,
Justice? No.
no.
Tirdof, pursue or something?
Tirdof Nashi, pursue Nafshi, pursue my
Nafshi.
soul. It's the last prayer of the Amidah.
Tirdof from
Tirdof Nafshi. Yeah, Af LP means nevertheless or although. I get them confused. They have that a lot in the Zohar. Okay, Tirdof Nafshi, let my soul be silent to all that, that part of it at the end of the Amidah. Tirdof Nafshi. Okay, let's do some more words because we got some more words that are revealing themselves here. Sefer,
Sefer. Book.
book. Sipor, again,
Sip-
story.
Sipor.
Peri,
Bari.
fruit of. Agafen,
Agafen.
of the vine. Pen,
Pin.
Yifte,
Yifte.
Podeh, which I think we
Podeh.
have, and Nefesh
Nefesh.
means soul. So we have some words that are constructed with some of those words. 5. Beit,
Beit. House.
Tefillah,
Tefillah.
Liladim.
Liladim.
So Yeladim means children, Liladim, which means 2 children. Beit Tefillah, Liladim, which means a house of prayer or a sanctuary for kids. 6. Hayeled,
Hayeled, the boy.
yep, Naphtali,
Naphtali.
which is a proper name, a proper boy's name.
Naphtali. Lomed.
Lomed,
Learned.
learns, Bevet,
The
in the
Veit.
house. Sefer, of books, which is a school. Bevet Sefer, in the house in the school. Ivri, Hebrew.
Ivri.
So as we remember, Bevet Sefer is an idiom. It means school, and Ivri is Hebrew. And remember that the adjective in Hebrew follows the noun.
I have a question.
Hmm?
So Beit is house, right?
Right.
But in that it says, isn't it with the Beit?
Good question. Good point. The bait and the veit are actually the same letter, just like the pay and the fey are the same letter. So when you have ba, which means in front of it, the bait turns to a veit.
Okay.
That way doesn't sound awkward, but bait. You can say babayit in the house because
Yes.
bayit is a proper noun, but bavait in the house of. So that's how these letters sometimes are used. And if you were to say, trying to think. Okay, perfect example. Remember we were studying the chaf, okay? Remember how we have that prayer, mi chamocha, but who is like the under God, me, then it goes mi kamocha. Okay, same word. They just, it's a different construct because of the way the grammar works out.
Okay, yeah.
And sometimes, and I'm trying to think of the prayer, I was just going through it. This is kind of obscure but this guy, Rabbi Ishmael, devised 13 methods of analyzing Torah. And in real traditional prayer books, they have, they list 13 ways, and there's a pay and a fey, and they're used interchangeably depending on where the word sits in the sentence. So a lot of times they're used interchangeably.
Okay.
So if you were to say, Bavait Seper, you wouldn't be wrong, but you wouldn't be correct. In other words, you wouldn't really be changing the meaning. You'd just be changing the construct of the sentence. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird in Hebrew, the way Hebrew does that. Okay, different versions of the same letter, but that's just, particular for Hebrew. Okay, 8. This is going to be interesting. Beit, Tefillah,
Tefillah.
Who, Knesset. So a house of prayer is a house of assembly. And the who, which means he, is used kind of as is. So Beit, Tefillah, he is Beit Knesset. That's kind of how it would be literally. 9. And this is another way that you know, third person pronoun is used. Hayeled,
Hayeled, the boy.
Joseph, right? Yosef, which is
Yosef.
Joseph. Who he is
Who?
a rabbi. He is a rabbi.
Ha-rabbi.
Yeah.
Is it like saying he the rabbi? Ha-rabbi? Rabbi?
It's no, it kind of, it's kind of like saying, you know, Joseph, he is the rabbi. It's who is
Okay, right.
kind of as like is. Third
Right.
Yeah. Okay, 10. Here's another interesting word. Hayeled,
Hayeled,
boy, Naphtali,
Naphtali.
who, ha, chazan.
Who has
Yeah, the
who
boy Naphtali is the cantor. So I
who
guess they're going
Chazan
to school and they're taking part of, one of them is being the rabbi, the other one's being the cantor. A chazan.
Ha-Chazan.
Ha, chazan, yeah,
Ha-Chazan.
right. 11. Hayeled,
Hayeled,
Raphael,
Raphael.
Vahayeled,
Vahayeled.
Pinchas,
Pinchas.
Pinchas, right? Pinchas, Phineas, Gabaim.
Gabaim.
Gabaim, the literal word, the literal meaning is officer, Gabai. These are the two guys on each side, or people on each side of the bima, of the podium, when we're reading Torah to make sure that, you know, everything's correct.
Oh, yeah.
So it's saying the boy Raphael and the boy Pinchas are Gabais. See, so well, they're all going through the motions of learning to do a Torah reading. 12. Hayeled,
Hayeled,
Ephraim.
Ephraim.
Ephraim's again a proper name. Who?
Who?
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
Right. So the Shamash, which I guess the English translation is sexton, and this is like the administrator. Okay, so the sexton, like I'm also a Shamash, and I wear many hats at the synagogue. I change the memorial lights each week for the Yiskers, for the Yortzites, for the memorials. I also this is also the guy that would hand out the aliyahs, you know, and in our synagogue, Bernard, who's our president, does that. So he's kind of like the shaman. He functions as the shamash during Shabbat services.
The shamash is also the ninth candle on the Hanukkah menorah.
Exactly. That's what the shamash
Right.
does. It's the administrator that lights the candle. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Cool.
Yeah. And here's our prayer, B'rei Pri Ha-Gafen, creator of the fruit of the vine. Okay, and we've gone over the various words that we've learned. So let's move on. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, so this is Lecha Dodi. We're not going to go through all of this, but I'm just going to show you the first two verses because it uses some of the letters that we've just learned. Lecha, come,
Lecha.
Dodi, my beloved, which is
Dod-
also uncle. Dodi, my uncle, my beloved. Likrat, to greet, to call. Kala, which is the word for bride. And the word for groom is chatan, just kind of as an aside. Panei, led us to welcome. Shabbat,
Panei Shabbat.
Nikabla.
Nikadla.
Hmm?
Nikadla.
No. Remember, that's a silent vowel. So it's no. All you do is pronounce.
Nikadla.
Right, Nikabla. Oh, and it's Nikabla, right? You wouldn't say Nikabla because here we have a bait with a dagish in it. So it gets its own syllable. Nikabla. Nikabla. 4 syllables.
But the dogish doesn't just signify that it's the bait and not the
Right, it does that too.
vav, but it also gives it its own.
Yes.
Oh.
So you won't see a v unless it's really at the beginning of the word, which you don't really see very often. You wouldn't, if that was a veit, it would be nakavla. This is where the letters get interchanged when they're necessary. Nikabala. And nikabla, what does it mean? Kabbalah, to receive. So basically it's saying, let us welcome the Sabbath, let us receive the Sabbath upon ourselves. That's the literal meaning of this. And here is a lot of the text and the translation of Lachadodei.
Wow.
And you can look at that at your leisure.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting prayer. This is what we say, what we Judeans say when we wake up in the morning. I like the word Judean. I like Jew, but Judean sounds pretty cool. Okay, when we wake up in the morning, modeh, and if you're a woman, you say modah. Ani lifanecha. I thank you I thank in front of you. Lifanecha, it means in front of you. Melech, king, chai, life, v'kayam, ever living forever. The ever living king. Shehechazarta.
Wow.
Shehechazarta. Long Hebrew words are easy. You just break them down, syllable by syllable. What you see, what you get. Say again, Bandana.
Shehechazarta.
Shehechazarta, right. B, forgiving unto me, nishmati, my soul,
Nishmati.
bachemla, in mercy. Rabbah, which means much, very much. Emunatecha. Emunah, you are faithful. So that's the first thing we say when we wake up in the morning. Modeh or modah, ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechazarta bi nishmati bachemla, rabbah, emunatecha. It's a good prayer, something which we talk to people who are becoming Jewish. And we have some words here. Oh, and this is an interesting. Here's the Shema. Okay. And we say El Melech Ne'eman. When we are saying the Shema and we do not have a minyan, we include El Melech Ne'eman. And then we say the Shema. So when I daven in the morning and I'm doing the Shema, it's just me usually. El Melech Ne'eman. Then we go on. Shema Yisrael. And here's the abbreviation for Adonai.
Eloheinu
Adonai.
Echad.
Echad. Right. And then we say silently, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. So just kind of as an aside, why do conservative and Orthodox Jews recite this in a very slight undertone? Baruch Shem Kavod is not in the Torah. The Shema is in the Torah, in Deuteronomy, and the Ahavta, which is what comes next, is in the Torah. Baruch Shem Kavod is not in there. It is placed there to be a separator. The Shema Yisrael is a declaration. Hear, O Israel, Lord our God, and Lord is one. The Ahavta is a commandment. It's an imperative. You got to do this. So the Baruch Shem Kavod is there to separate. And you find Baruch Shem Kavod other places in our prayers, like when you're putting on, you put on the arm tefillin, then the head tefillin, you put Baruch Shem Kavod in the middle. Now, where does this come from? It's a midrash. It's like the folklore that surrounds the Torah that kind of fills in the blanks. So when Jacob was blessing his sons at the end of Genesis, he had lost for a moment his ability to prophesy. And he was worried that he lost it because there were descendants that were going to betray Israel. And his sons reassured them. And they said, and the way they reassured him that they were going to keep the faith is by saying, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. That's why when you read this in traditional prayer books, you will see cantillations with the Shema and the V'ahavta, but there's no cantillations on Baruch Shem because it's not in the Torah or anywhere else, really. Okay, so we have Boker, which is morning, Tefillah, which is prayer, Achilah, which is eating, and Avodah, which is work. Let me see if I missed any other, no, that's it. Okay, good. They threw some more words at us. Okay, let's go to this letter, the tzaddik. This is a tough letter for English speakers because it's a tz. Okay, so it's like in pretzel, the TZ as in pretzel. And also the final tzaddik as in bats. Think of the tzaddik as kind of a soft z and z. And a lot of times they're confused with each other. Okay, and we're going to come to a word and you're going to see that the English rendition is a little vague with, or it's a little deceptive with the Hebrew. Okay, so line 1, sa,
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 se,
se,
say,
say,
see,
see, see,
so,
so,
sue, sue,
so,
and
so.
so.
So what?
Yeah, really, so what? Good. I was gonna make a point. Oh, the letter is called tzaddik, which means righteous.
Right, isn't it, is it Zadig Tirdoff? What's that?
Tzaddik,
Justice?
tzaddik, tirdof. Justice
Tirdof.
shall you find.
Right.
That's right. Very good. And again, you find that the names of the Hebrew letters are also, they are also, it's really loud, proper names.
Or what? Oh,
Proper names. They're names of something. Like the pay for that one letter is a mouth. And what does a letter look like? It looks like a mouth. There is a theory that Proto-Hebrew, the original Hebrew, was actually pictograms.
mhm.
And the letters actually were pictures of things. And by combining the pictures, they made words. Okay. So without going into a lot of detail, the aleph actually used to look like a ox head. You know, it looks like two things like this and then like a circle like that. And the word aleph means mighty, like the Hebrew word for generals, aluf, aleph.
Isn't there also, not to get too deep into the weeds, but isn't there a lot of Kabbalistic meaning and gematria and all of
Absolutely.
involved in the letters?
Absolutely. Even the word tzitzit. All right. We get the actual construction of a tzitzit based on what the letters mean. Yeah. I talked about this, in fact, yesterday's service. But yes, absolutely. So the aleph means mighty or great. Okay. And then the bait, which means by it, used to actually look like the floor plan of like a little house. So if you combine the aleph and the bait, what word do you get? Av. And what is Av? Who is Av? Father. It is the mighty of the house, master of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to 2. Okay, learn some words. Eights. Tree. Eretz. Land.
Eretz, land.
Oh, Aretz, I'm sorry, is land.
Aretz.
Now, here's another nuance of Hebrew. Aretz means land. Eretz means
country?
land of. Eretz Yisrael, land of Israel. Aretz means land. See, so that's why you got to be real careful when you're pronouncing these words, because by using a vowel instead of another vowel, you can actually change the meaning.
Right.
And this is one of those words where you do. Okay, rochetz. Rochetz, which means wash. Ratz, which means run.
Halutz.
Very interesting word.
Chalutz.
Chalutz means pioneer, or in the Torah it means I've seen in a shock troop or special forces, that type of connotation.
Zar.
Czar.
Or
Star. See the difference? Czar and Tsar.
Ooh, no, can you go back? Now I'm confused.
Okay, what are you confused on?
So so the first one, Tsar? Is
This
that,
one is Czar, Czar, that's a Zion,
it's a
Czar.
Zion okay,
And
Zion
this is
and
a Tsar,
Zadi.
Czar and Tsar,
Czar and Tsar,
right. A's
A's,
and eights,
eights.
okay? What is this word? Zohar,
Zohar, does that mean light? No.
light. It's the text, and it's also the text of Kabbalah, the Zohar.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
and here's Sohar,
Zohar,
right. Okay, let's go to 3. Zazu,
Zazu,
Zazu.
Zazu pits.
Gary says on that, no, never mind.
I'm sorry?
Never mind, no.
Okay, here's Satsu,
Satsu.
Satsu,
yep. Here's a proper name, Yitzchak.
Yitzhak,
Mm-hmm,
Yitzhak,
mm-hmm. And here's Ratz,
Ratz,
which again is run. Okay, here, what's this word? Sion,
You know,
Zion, Zion,
Zion. So
Zion.
in Hebrew, it's spelt with a tzaddik instead of a Zion.
Yeah,
But see, since we don't really use a tz in English, they make it Zion, Sion.
Dion.
And we know it's Sion because there's a dagish in the yud that emphasizes it, making it Sion.
Zion,
And here's the word Eretz,
Eretz,
which is land of. Aretz is land, Eretz is land of.
Israel,
Yisrael,
Israel.
we know what that is, of course, Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Mitzion,
Mitzion.
from Zion.
Mm.
Teitzei, they went out.
Teitzei,
Teitzei, Teitzei. Torah.
Torah.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah. See, when they went out from Zion with the Torah. Okay. Matzah.
Matzah,
There it is, matzah. Matzot,
matzot,
which is the flatbread. And look at this word, it's the same word. Mitzvah,
mitzvah.
which is commandment. See the similarity? Matzah is the flatbread, mitzvah is a commandment.
And I noticed there's a dagish with the tzadi for matzah to emphasize the tz.
That's right.
Oh, good.
That's right. Now, look at this word.
Mitzot.
Mitzvot.
Whoa, wait.
Yep, that's a vav with
Okay.
an o vowel. And how
That's-
do we know that? Because we've got me, okay? We've got the mem with an e. We've got a tzaddik with a silent vowel. So the tzaddik has its own vowel, which means this has to be a vav with an o on top of it, with a
Okay.
short o, or what they call a diminished o. Mitzvot.
Because
Another
the
word that-
Zadi, because
I'm
the
sorry?
Zadi, because the Zadi it's already stated to be silent, so you can't put a O on it.
Well, it's got, well, yeah, but it's also the case in point. Don't overthink it. The case in point is it has a vowel.
Well, compare that to matzot.
Matzot.
What's the vowel here?
Oh,
What vowel does the tzaddik have? It doesn't. So that way you know that it has to be this. So it has to be matzot,
right.
okay? Matzot, because you got a tzaddik. Is there a vowel there? No. Is there an
No.
O here? Yes. So it's matzot. Here, the tzaddik already has a vowel. One vowel to a customer.
Okay, got it.
Mitzvot. Another word you're going to see as we get into the high holidays, similar, is avon, which is sin. Ayin, vav, nun, final nun, avon. Avona, which means sin. Sin or forgiveness, something. Okay, this is what I'm wearing, tzitzit.
Tzitzit.
Tzitzit, the little knots and everything.
Tzitzit.
Saharayim.
Zaharayim.
Actually, it's saw. This is a case where where this vowel, this comments is pronounced as an ah instead of an ah, and it means afternoon. Saharayim.
Zaharayim.
Afternoon. So we go to line 5. Saharayim ba.
Zaharayim ba.
Let's go to 7. Saharayim ba livracha.
Livracha.
Afternoon comes to pray. Eight. Saharayim,
Zaharayim
afternoon, ba
ba
comes, la'achila,
la'achila.
la'achila, to eat. Afternoon comes to eat. Livracha,
Livracha.
v'la'achila.
Allah.
La'achila.
La'achila.
Yep, to pray and to eat. Okay. Let's learn a prayer. Baruch
Baruch
atah
atah
Adonai Eloheinu
Eloheinu melech
melech
ha'olam
asher
asher
kiddishanu
shanu b'mitzvotav
v'tzivanu
v'tzivanu
al
al
netilat
natilat
yadayim. Blessed art
yadan.
thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has commanded us with his commandments and commanded us on washing our hands. We also have Hamotzi Lechem
Hamotzi lechem
Min
min
Haaretz.
haaretz.
Hamotzi, who brings forth Lechem, which is bread, Min from Haaretz,
The
the
earth.
land, from the earth. And we've learned Saharayim, which means noon or afternoon, and Bracha, which means blessing. Okay, I think we are actually done here. Here's the Birchat Hamazon for your edification. Do we have any more letters left? I think we're basically done. There's one or two other things that we have to go through. And these are a bunch of prayers that you can look at. But there's a couple of other things that we have to go over, and they're not necessarily letters. Eitz Chaim Hi, Lama Chazigim Ba Batom. I say all these different prayers that they throw in. There's the V'ahavta. Okay, now that we've learned all the letters, we've got a couple of special cases. There are 2 times in Hebrew when it's not as it appears. So if you were to see this at the end of the word, you would immediately think to say cha. But when this chet with an ah, and only this ah, with this chataf is under it at the end of a word, instead of saying ha, you reverse it. Instead of going down from up to down, you go down up. It's ah.
No,
Only when it's at the end of a word. And there are a whole slew of words that are pronounced this way. Okay, first word. You may recognize this.
Noah.
Noah. Who was Noah?
Noah.
The guy with the big boat.
Yeah.
Meniach.
Meniach.
Tefillin. And that's the first blessing when we put on the arm, who commands us to put on tefillin. Noach, meniach, tefillin. So we have line 1. Noach,
Noah.
Yeled,
Yeled,
Gadol.
Gadol,
Noah is a big boy.
Noah,
Noach, bar
Bar,
mitzvah.
Mitzvah.
Noah is a bar mitzvah. Now, the word bar is an interesting word. It means son of, but actually it's an Aramaic word that's used in Hebrew.
Hmm.
So like you'll see some names like Bar Kokhba, that guy that tried to that led a revolt against Rome. Bar means Ben, Bar Kokhba, son of the stars.
Hmm.
So this is one special case.
Doesn't
Again,
does Ben also mean son of?
Mhm.
Ben is also the son of, but that's Hebrew. And
Oh.
people have said that Av is Hebrew, Abba is Aramaic.
Hmm.
Aim is Hebrew for mother, Ima is Aramaic.
Interesting.
Very similar languages. So here's the first blessing when we're putting on the Yom Tefillin, Baruch, Atah,
Adonai,
Adonai,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Melech,
Melech,
Ha'olam,
Haolam,
Asher,
Share, and we got a dagish in the
Kiddeshanu,
Dalit, so it's Kiddi Shanu, Kidda Shanu,
Kiddishanu,
not Kid Shanu, Kiddi Shanu.
Kiddishanu,
Mitzvotav, and here's that tzaddik with the O,
Mitzvotav.
with the vav with the O, mitzvotav.
Tav,
Vitzivanu,
Tzivanu,
lahamiach, it's commanded us to put on
Lehadnia,
So,
There's
Tefillah.
that word, haniach.
Lahad, wait, Lahadnia,
Le,
Le,
lahaniach,
Lehadniach. It's different than
lahaniach,
Lehadniach.
lahaniach, right.
because if you didn't know, you would be tempted to say lahani cha.
Right,
Uh-huh.
lahanicha, exactly.
Right.
That's why you have to know that this is a special case.
Lehaniach.
Mhm. So we have another special case, but first we have kam, which means gets up. Mivarech, which is to say a blessing.
Mevareach.
Mivarech.
Mevarech.
Meniach tefillin.
Meniach.
Puts on tefillin, right. So we see mivarech and meniach.
Yeah.
Now, we've got another case here. Right here. Now you would think that we've got the ah and the yud that makes the ah and ah, right? Ayah, right? But the problem is we've got a vav there. And that's another special case.
Okay. Yeah.
Where are we?
So just to clarify, so in b'mitzvotav, if there wasn't a vowel under the tzaddik, you would pronounce it b'mitzvotav.
So, right, exactly.
But since it has its own vowel, it's b'mitzvo. So you pronounce the O with the vav.
Vav.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. And
Good.
here's that word mit palel, which means praise.
Itpalel. Does the
And right. And here's another case where we have that from our Aleinu prayer. Aleinu lishabeach la adon hakol. It is upon us, Aleinu, on us, lishabeach, to praise la adon, the master of all. Okay.
the question is so whenever there's is it hetzofit that at the end of like where you say like lech at the
Mhm.
end, does that never has a ach, it's always just ech. Is that correct?
Say that again.
So is that hetzofit, is that the one that like
Yes,
at the
that's
end
the
of
one that has a vowel. The
At the
chapsofit. The
say that
chapsofit.
look,
So like the word baruch, like this. Is this what
yeah,
you're talking about?
yes, yes. So that's Chav Sofit.
That's a chapsofit, right? So Baruch, you see, it's got a silent vowel in it.
Okay, and if it doesn't have a silent vowel, would that,
It will have an ah, a comments. It'll either have a silent, a shvi, or an ah. Just those two. That's the only two vowels it'll take. Baruch or bareah. Or
Barucha?
like lech or lecha. Exactly.
Okay, okay, but never, but never the ah. That's only with
Right,
the,
that's only that one vowel. Yeah,
Not
that's
a
only a
patah.
comment, patach
Yeah. it
vowel.
won't-
The ah, like this, instead of little t thing. Okay, last case. The ah and the vav. The ah, the yud, and the vav, when the above appears at the end of the word, it is pronounced av, and the yud is silent. And it usually means his. Okay, like line 1. Baruch,
Baruch,
Mishalem,
Yishalem,
Sachar,
Sahar,
Tov,
Tov,
Li Re Av. It's good to see his ah.
Li,
Mhm.
Re,
2. Hodiu, Ba'amim, Ali Lo Tav.
Ali, Lotav.
Yep, that's how you have that av there. 4. Tov, Adonai, this is from Ashrei. Tov Adonai, Lakol, God is good to all. Verachamav, I'll call Ma'asav, and is merciful to all who does his work.
Wait, so the rule that we're talking about is like in that last word, the yud is
Silent.
silent. Why is it there?
To designate the fact that it means his.
Okay,
Why are there words like lemor? Okay, the aleph is just there. It means to say, right? But the aleph doesn't have a vowel and it's a silent letter. So why is it there? Because it's a construct of the word omer, which means says.
mhm,
So ma'asav, the yud, and the vav usually means his. That's what it means, his. But that's because it's the way it's spelled. But it's pronounced av instead of I. Av.
English is full of those.
oh, yeah.
English is full of them. Hebrew just has two. The ah and the av. That's it. Those are the only two exceptions to it being a purely phonetic letter system.
Mhm.
Okay, so that basically concludes our course, and you can look some of this over. It gives you contrasts of the ha, of the hey and the chet. It gives you the pei and the fei, the shin and the sin, the av and the av, the o and the u, the gimel and the nun, exercises in similar letters. And that's basically it. And we've done this in the 6 weeks that they say we can do this in. So congratulations, everybody. Here's
Yeah.
Hatikva.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got some really good stuff in here too, some good prayers and things that you can look over. That's it.
Thank you.
So again, I invite you all to, if you're not already, Sheila and Scott, Bandana, I know you, congratulations to you. We'll vote you in on next week on our board meeting, and Scott and Sheila, we'd love to have you as members. So, please feel free to come by and pick up a application. And it was great having you folks in the class.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I was able to jump in.
Thank you. And if you have any questions going forward, please let me know, and we're good to go.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. And Sheila, it was great
Shavua
having
tov.
you in this class too. Excellent. Thank you. And Scott, of course, you give our regards to your wife, and we
Thank
will
you very
see you in the synagogue very soon.
Yes.
All right, folks, thank you so much. This will be, I'll post this in a little bit on the website.
Thank you.
Shavua tov.
Thank you, you too. We'll talk.
Thank you.